So welcome to the first part of Mindfulness for Business from Business Help for You Limited. I'm Julie Walsh and I'll be taking you through the next few slides to introduce you to mindfulness in the first part of the programme. The photograph that you're looking at was taken on my local seafront, and for me it just sums up a mindful moment, because this chap at the end of a day, a glorious summer's day, balmy evening, he's taking his paddleboard out with his dog for an evening paddle. Now he will have all of his senses involved in this. He'll be concentrating on staying stable, his balance. He'll be listening to the sound, he'll be enjoying the temperature and the breeze. It's a very meditative practice, and mindfulness is not about going and sitting in a darkened room and meditating. It's about incorporating activities into your day that enable you to really focus on enjoying each and every moment that you're alive. So I'm going to be taking you through a little bit more about what mindfulness is and isn't, a bit of its background, where it came from, how it was developed, a couple of business case studies, and some information around how mindfulness can be benefit to you and your business, and then some practical application. You will also receive, as part of the first part, a mindfulness body scan meditation. So what is mindfulness? Well, it's been referred to as brain training. So we don't think twice about going to the gym to train our bodies, but we don't really think about doing it for our mind. So why should we train our mind? Well, our consciousness, our critical consciousness, is also known as the monkey mind. And it's those busy thoughts that are constantly going around in your head, the ones that keep you awake at night, or where you find yourself arguing with yourself over trying to make a decision, the yes but no but. The critical consciousness, as I said, the negative thoughts that go round on repeat. And mindfulness enables us to still that mind and just tap in to our inner self and more into our intuition. It's about teaching us to be in the moment and savour every moment that we are alive. Our head tends to either be in the past or in the future. We're either worrying about what's happened or we're stressing about what's going to happen in the future. How often do we actually sit and just be? Just savour that moment. Mindfulness is also about maintaining focus. It's about really utilising all of your senses to bring a sense of purpose and consciousness to each activity that you do and each moment. It eliminates distracting thoughts. And one of the biggest benefits for me, I found, was it has enabled me to go with the flow. I no longer seem to have that horrible conscious decision-making issue where I'm battling to come to a solution. I find it's much more intuitive. I'm much calmer, much more peaceful, and things just seem to flow far more easily. Mindfulness, it's based on meditation, but it is actually an activity or a practice that's integrated into your working day and into your social activities. Mindfulness is about compassion and kindness. It's about being kind to ourselves. It's non-judgmental. It's, if we notice when we're trying to do a mindful practice that our mind is wandering off and our monkey mind is distracting us, we just gently acknowledge it and bring our thoughts back to what we're concentrating on at that time. But most of all, mindfulness is not about achieving a certain state, or it does help with relaxation, but that isn't its goal. It is a practice. There's no end goal in sight. It is a daily practice that, when integrated into your life, can have huge benefits in many ways. So mindfulness is based on Buddhist meditation and certain Buddhist meditative activities, but it was adapted into secular practice during the 1970s by an American psychiatrist called John Kabat-Zinn. And he developed it into a modular program and used it initially with a group of patients that were having severe chronic pain issues. And over an 8-week program, which really consisted of sort of an hour's education once a week, followed by a daily activity, he found that these patients found such benefit in reducing their pain that he went on to develop the program further and measure the outcomes in a whole variety of patients with different conditions. Then gradually over the years it began to be incorporated into other areas, and to date there are over 2,000 studies worldwide, both in health and in business, demonstrating huge benefits. And it has actually been shown that a daily mindfulness activity increases the grey matter of the brain. So the plasticity that we know the brain is capable of, it actually strengthens your brain capacity. In the UK, the NHS National Institute for Excellence recommend a mindfulness programme as the first therapy for recurrent depression, because it's been shown to have significant impact on elevating mood, even with those patients who are quite severely debilitated by having had recurrent depression. Mindfulness is well recognised now in the health and mental well-being field because it improves mood and cognitive function. But in the business place, you will see now that mindfulness is really at the forefront of employee programs within huge corporations such as Google, Apple, IBM. Lots of Fortune 400 companies have integrated mindfulness into their working practices, and particularly in the financial institutions now, you'll see it becoming just part and parcel of their employee programs. And actually at Google, it's the most oversubscribed employee program that they have. And that's because of its benefits not just to the work environment, but also to the individual. So how can it benefit business? Well, it's been shown, and these are all outcomes that have been measured, that it allows people to manage their time better. They make more effective decisions. It allows for a greater ability to cope under pressure, so you have much more resilience to the things that are going on in your life. It improves productivity and creativity and gives people much higher levels of engagement and job satisfaction. It enhances communication, enables it to be clearer and more effective, and it improves relationships and teamwork. And it's well recognised for reducing levels of stress and illness-related absenteeism. So in the UK, Transport for London introduced a mindfulness programme when they discovered that mental health was one of the top 2 health issues affecting company employees. And they offered a 6-week group stress reduction workshop available to any of its 20,000 employees who met the referral criteria. And of those employees who attended the course, 71% of them saw a reduction in the number of days off for stress, anxiety and depression over the following 3 years. 50% of them saw a reduction in absence for all conditions. 80% participants reported improvements in their relationships. 79% felt their ability to relax was improved. 64% had better sleep patterns, and 53% noticed that they were happier at work. Michael Forlenza, from the School of Leadership and Professional Advancement in Duquesne University, Pittsburgh, he was asked how he felt mindfulness helped in a work context, and he felt that on a practical level it allowed him to deal with the stress of constant information overload, shifting demands and priorities. It helped him to manage his staff, being more present and thoughtful and deliberative in decision making. And it wasn't that it prevented him from getting frustrated or irritated at times, it just allowed him to recover more quickly his balance and not blow things out of proportion. It just gives people a sense of calm. And in terms of his organisation, he felt his team ran smoother and more cooperatively as a result of having the mindfulness programme in place. So what can it do for your business? Well, it will enable you to be much more objective about your business, so it will enhance your decision making. It will allow you to tap into your own intuition to know which decisions are the right ones. It will encourage staff engagement and team working, and in fact, when mindfulness was incorporated into general practice for medical practitioners, it enhanced their levels of empathy. So it enabled them to listen better and to just be more on the same wavelength with their patients. It will allow you to filter the important from the not important, so it will make prioritising much easier. And it enhances mood and motivation and improves cognitive function. So employees tend to develop a much greater sense of value and purpose. They feel much more engaged with work. So by learning to be in the moment and effectively shut out the distracting mental chatter, you stop the distracting patterns of thoughts and reactions. You gain much more insight and understanding of complex situations. You become more effective with solutions and responses. And you connect with a very creative, out-of-the-box ability to find solutions. And mindfulness training supports the development of a much more effective, productive, peaceful and creative workplace. But over and above that, personal benefits that have been measured are its ability to improve relationships, improve sleep and sleep patterns, and that's a key issue for so many people. It enhances mood and motivation, enables easier decision making, it reduces pain, it increases empathy, and in terms of physical health, it can have very beneficial cardiovascular responses such as lowering blood pressure. So how do we apply this? How do we fit this into our working day? Well, the mindful body scan that I've recorded as part 1 will ask you to set aside half an hour of uninterrupted time just for the first week so that you can get used to going into that state of mind and practicing actually focusing on your body and your sensations and calming those distracting thoughts. So for the first week you will have to take time out. But as we go through the other activities, they can be incorporated into any daily actions that you have. So you can actually have a mindful coffee break. So rather than sitting at the computer with one eye on the computer and sipping at your coffee, you actually take the time to savour that cup of coffee, to smell the aroma, the temperature. You utilise all of your senses to enjoy that coffee and its impact on you. And things like having a shower and washing your hair, we can develop a way of doing those in a mindful way. And we will come on to more exercises later on in the programme for you to practice. But for the time being, If you just listen to the mindful body scan once a day if possible, you will begin to find that you will begin to reap the benefits of just feeling calmer and less pressured over the course of the next 7 days. So I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any queries, do email us at support@businesshelpforyou.co.uk, and we will be sending out part 2 next week. Thanks very much.